Hopefully the sound isn't too crazy. So I had this conversation with my coworker. This is my blankie. So I know I'm 41 and it's still a thing. My son and I sometimes get in little tiffs about it and take turns with it. That's very near and dear to my heart. But a long story, a few years ago, I went on a cruise and I left my original one that I'd had since I was born on the cruise ship. And I was absolutely just beside myself. I was so upset. I called that cruise line so many times. I opened up so many claims in the lost items. I left it on the bed, so it got wrapped up in the sheets, right? And so nobody got back to me or anything like that. This was in 2023, that infamous year. And bless my ex-heart. He was like, do we need to go drive down to New Orleans and start dumpster diving in these sheets? He was down to ride. I can appreciate that. That was cool. But needless to say, my mom moved heaven and earth and found me the exact same one that Christmas, December 2023 Christmas. And so that's a little backstory with this. But when I was younger, I used to always just fold it like this and do this. It always just, I don't know, it cooled my anxiety. I felt at peace. So I'd sit on the couch, I'd do this, and I might go like this back and forth when I was younger. Everybody's got tics, and I'm sharing mine with you because I'm not ashamed of them, and nor should you be. And I get so tired of people taking people that are on the spectrum or people that are autistic and using them as an example, oh, is this person on the spectrum? Is this person autistic? Why would you even say things like that, first of all? When my son growing up, that was a really big thing with me because I was bullied. I was bullied very much. And with my weight, with how I thought. And so raising my son, that was always a very big deal to me, and teaching him how to treat people, how to talk to people. You don't use the word retarded, and you don't call people stupid, and you don't talk about people's weight. You don't talk about how people look, and, things like that. And that was always a very, very big deal to me, in raising my kid, because I know how it feels. And, and so I know my kid is very sensitive when it comes to certain things, and that's why he gets used a lot. But at the end of the day, I know he has a very kind heart, and he has a genuine nature. And to me, that's good enough. That's why I'm so proud of the man that he is becoming. Has there been a lot of setbacks and obstacles for him and I? Absolutely. But I know that his future is bright. God has got him. God has got both of us. But anyways, so Psalms, I love Psalms. Psalms 5, lead me into your righteousness. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my groaning. Give attention to the sound of my cry. For to you do I pray, O Lord. In the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I prepare a sacrifice for you and watch. That muffler though. That was a motorcycle though. For you are not God who delights in wickedness. Evil may not dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers. Right here in the Bible, guys. Right here in the Bible. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord adores the bloodthirsty, deceitful man. Abhors. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. I will bow down towards your holy temple in the fear of you. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. My enemies make my way straight before me as I walk into the Lord's temple every day. Essentially. That's how close and near and dear I feel to David. Literally, every day. My enemy, my adversaries, my ops, whatever you want to call them. Whatever they've decided to label themselves in my life. I don't label them that, but whatever people decide to label themselves is their prerogative. All right, so I had quite a few things come to me. So often right now, there's so many people that have an issue with conspiracy theories. I think it's actually quite comical, because this is what came to me last night. When you hear someone label something a conspiracy theory Be mindful there's truth in that theory. That I can promise you. If there wasn't, they wouldn't label it a theory. Why would they care? Why do they care so much about different things that people are saying regarding the Charlie Kirk, regarding the government shutdown, regarding the country stronghold on the United States, all this stuff? Like, if these are all conspiracy theories, why do they care? Prove that it isn't. Prove that it isn't. But they can't debunk it. They can't debunk it. And so that's why you have to be very mindful when you hear people say conspiracy theories. 99% of the time in those conspiracy theories, there is truth. And furthermore, if people were talking about conspiracy theories, why do they care? If it's just a theory, why are they even wasting their mind talking about it if they don't believe it? Exactly. So there's a little nugget for you. When you tap into your inner child and alter ego, it looks different for everyone. That's why it's important to give everyone grace for their walk and faith spiritually. That's the thing, is when you tap into your inner child and your alter ego, right? It looks different for everybody. Everybody's faith looks different. Everybody's spiritual walk looks different. That's why it's very, very important to just be mindful with the intentions that you have behind everything. I saw this post. A girlfriend said something or there was a post talking about decisions matter more than intentions or something like that. And I commented on it and I said, decisions are led by intentions. You make decisions based off your intentions. So it kind of goes hand in hand. You wouldn't make decisions if you weren't intentionally making that decision. The two and two go together, in my mind. Right? I mean, again, agree to disagree, but we move and operate and we make choices and decisions based off our intentions, based off our free will. And our free will moves based off our intentions. So whatever you decide to do, whatever your decision making looks like, that goes based off your intentions. So you can decide if you're leading with good intentions or bad intentions. I hope this video is resonating. If they can wipe accounts off all platforms, banning, etc., why can't they take down videos of Charlie passing away, the assassination? That was my thing. Like, if they can ban accounts, I've been banned 6 times, or I'm on my 6th account now. I've had hundreds of videos that have been vanished off my phone, off all my platforms, everything. Like, poof. Like, they can literally put people in a witness program and completely as if they never existed. They can do these things. So why can't they take these videos off the internet? You know, because Charlie Kirk's wife said, you know, be mindful of what you put out there in reference to her kids and stuff like that. And I respect that. You know, I totally do. But you have to ask yourself, I would be fighting tooth and nail. That would be something if that was my husband, I would be fighting tooth and nail, because I know that the possibility is there, because they do it every day with the censorship and how they can wipe people's identity and do the most in the background. They do it for their benefit. But see, right now, this is where they go in and they do the propaganda. They exploit it and they monetize it. And that's why they're allowing these things to still flow out, to allow conspiracy theories in a lot of different ways too. To where when conspiracy theories fly as well, you have to be mindful that this is also a mechanism for them not to have to take accountability. And this is that psychological warfare thing. Everyone has a problem. That's why it's extremely important not to talk about someone's problems, because you have your own. That came to me last night. Everybody does have a problem, whether you have a problem with drinking, drug addictions, money spending, jealousy, envy, hate, competition, marital problems, friendship problems, problems with your children, anxiety, depression, eating disorders. I mean, I could go on forever. Everybody has problems. Everybody has some kind of problem. We all do. There's not one person in this world that doesn't have a problem. They don't. I mean, you could have a problem running on your power, your ego, your greed. That's a problem. You know, if you walk along those sides of those characteristics, right? It's a problem. And so it's very important